Hello, welcome to Fresh Death Comics, the podcast. I'm your host, Bluke. I have Amy with me. How you doing, Amy?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you, Luke?
I am basically, I'm alive. Uh,
Are you though? Are any of us?
so if you don't know, we
We've
so-
had a time.
we've had a little bit of a time. I was involved in a car accident. A lady hit me from behind in a construction zone. And can't talk too much more about that because there are some legal litigations going on. That is where I have been, so it's been hard to do things, concentrate.
Why?
Read.
Why would you? Why is that? Would you
Because
say
I
it's
have a concussion?
Yeah, on top of
A
brain injury?
Yeah, so this is real peachy keen. It's made it hard to do a lot of things.
Like probably look at things and read and walking in general.
So yeah, that's where I've been. So I am alive now, and I want to get us an episode because I had so many. I had like three. I had episodes planned for you guys.
Yeah.
We talked about the Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
We did a whole little segment, which we can air right now. We
By
just got
Wolverine
done
Deadpool.
watching the Deadpool Wolverine movie, and I have to say it. I don't know where to begin with even talking about. We literally just came out of the movie theater, we went to the studio, and we are fresh. So there
fresh.
are emotions happening. There
Fresh to death.
was a lot of death in this movie.
There was a lot of death in this movie.
A lot of freshness. So let's start with, I guess, the overall plot of Deadpool. So Deadpool is on a mission to save his own timeline, and he needs an anchor character because Wolverine is dead.
Yes, and Wolverine is that anchor character across all of the timelines. Why are we talking about timelines? Oh, that's because the TVA is after one Wade Wilson.
Which is interesting. The TVA is so important because Kevin Feige said you don't need to watch the TV shows to understand the movies. They'll be separate. And it's been so far from that statement. Like, you need to be watching everything.
You sit on a throne of lies, Feige. This is a very vital plot point to the entire Deadpool movie.
Deadpool is on a mission to get his timeline back, so he has to search for Wolverines, which was amazing.
There were so many Wolverines. I lost count, but we saw an actual size Wolverine about what his specifications were to be in real life.
If he was the Wolverine from the comics.
Correct. He was hopped off that bar stool and he had a far way to hop. Let's just say that.
We had the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. That was
Yes.
probably my favorite. That was the one with his hand missing.
Yeah.
That's the Age of Apocalypse
Okay.
that happens in the comics.
Okay. I recognized Patch.
Oh, yeah, you got excited for Patch.
I did get excited for Patch. I know that that's been rumored for a long time that he was going to pop up somewhere, so I'm glad he's popped up somewhere.
Looking at the movie just fresh, it was basically a who's who of movies. It was just Deadpool showing off, like,
Deadpool and Friends.
It really was. It was just Deadpool going crazy. The plot, that's the plot of the movie. I mean, it's the weakest plot line. For
But
Marvel,
sometimes the simplest is the best.
For Marvel Snap, they have a new Deadpool's Diner, and one of the cards you're supposed to earn is Cassandra Nova.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know she was going to be in the movie. No wonder why they're giving out this card. It didn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's
Did you know she was going to be in the movie?
Yes.
Okay. As many of you know, I avoid everything. I avoid the trailers. I avoid the little cameos. I avoid Jimmy Kimmel when they hosted last night. I anything Deadpool. Like, all I knew was Wolverine was in that yellow suit. That's all I knew. And I knew Dogpool was in it and Lady Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Okay.
So, other than that, everything was fresh and new. I was just over ecstatic, and to me, I had a good time. You watched the trailers. Did you watch all the trailers and stuff? Or how did you do it?
Yes.
All right, so
Because I ran upstairs and I went, Brian, I need to talk to you about things. And you went, no, wench. How dare ye bring your trailer speak doth to me? Out of here.
all right, so
Be gone.
what did you want to ask me?
Because I was freaking the fuck out because I had watched the final trailer for the movie. And that was where I saw X-23 appear. So I knew. That's why I bolted upstairs and I wanted to talk to you.
See, I had no clue she was going to be in it.
I did, but like I also get the joy of finding out how it all works together. That being said, was I fucking thrilled to bits seeing Channing Tatum pop up as fucking Gambit? Yes, I lost my shit. I lost my fucking shit in the theater. Totally lost it.
How did Channing not keep this a secret? This has been his lifelong dream to play Gambit.
I did not know this, but now
Yeah, he has been campaigning to do a Gambit solo movie with him leading in it. And they have been like, no. And they finally greenlit it. And then that's when the merger and stuff got bought out. So it just kind of fizzled out.
Well, maybe this way reinvigorate
If it does well, I mean,
I loved his Gambit. Like I can tell this man took like some accent classes, like vocal training to do that Louisiana Creole smooth Southern accent of his.
whatever the Gambit act, because the Gambit accent is an accent of its own.
Correct.
Because it's like it's Creole, but also it's Louisiana, but it's also Southern.
Yes.
Like it's an accent like T-Core from
oh my God, Big
Brother. Like
she's from London and Chicago all at the same time.
I feel like maybe it's a version of me because sometimes I say words not so good.
Exhibit A, breakfast.
Breakfast. I eat breakfast in the morning.
How would you spell that?
BREAKFAST. Breakfast.
And yet you pronounce like none of the letters in that word.
I do. Breakfast is how you say it.
Breakfast.
So it was good to see Wolverine being like the straight guy in a comedy, and Deadpool just being Deadpool. But I gotta say, I feel like I got exhausted at the fourth wall breaking.
There
Like,
was a lot of that.
There was a point where Cassandra Cain knocks out Deadpool, and I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, he got pretty chatty.
But he's a merc with a mouth, so he's supposed to. So overall thoughts on the movie, like good movie, bad movie?
There's another option. Best movie?
So,
I don't know about the best, but it's
so
quite up there.
So many cameos.
So many cameos. Oh, and another important cameo that I want to definitely mention was one Chris Evans, who everybody was like, what? They're bringing back Captain America? And Deadpool was like, oh my God, I'm here for it. I'm going to see it happen. I'm ready to go. Hold me closer, Captain America. And he just goes, flame on! And he's Johnny fucking Storm from all of us that remember the original Fantastic Four movie.
See, that's where I freaked out because I saw him, but it wasn't until I saw the Fantastic Four's hover car.
Yeah.
And I saw it, I said, wait a minute.
The helicarrier?
No, they have a car. The car the Fantastic Four have is just, that's what that circular car was. It has a 4 on it.
Oh, okay.
Reed Richards designed this car. It's the best car in the whole entire world because it's a car and it's a plane. It's a hover car.
Well, goddamn, Reed Richards.
When I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be Johnny Storm. And then I was like, wait a minute, Johnny Storm up against Pyro. That's not going to work out well.
You're correct, it didn't. Also, so as soon as he goes flame on, he's blasting off into the sky, flaming, and then Pyro just like sucks all of his fire, or was it Cassandra?
No, Pyro sucks all the fire from him. That's how he gets defeated.
So he's flying, and Pyro just sucks all the fire, and he just plummets. And in a true Deadpool-style movie trick, stunt. He just lands on some sort of scaffolding, is just doink, 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 all the way down. And I went, they're doing it to me again. They're doing it again. They're bringing in the characters that we really, really want for 5 seconds, whipping it around, and then killing them right in front of us. And I was like, God damn it, don't do this to me again, Marvel. You fucking did it with fucking Mom, Multiverse of Madness.
Here's what gets me, and I think this is what makes the movie great, is I wanted more. Like, I really wanted to see what's his name? Ian McLaughlin?
Ian McKellen.
No, Ian McGuffin from your Titanic movie. He's the guy, the captain who found her on the boat. He's like, ahoy! He's Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, Lone Gruffled.
Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to see him too.
I wanted to see him and Michael Chiklis in his costume. Like, maybe they could have made like it all like broken up and stuff. Like he's a broken Ben Grimm.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to see more also, you know?
Toad was cool. I think that was Ray Parks.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Toad, I started like elbowing you because I know how much you fucking love Toad. And I was
Toad.
like, oh my God, is Brian gonna like explode right here next to me?
And all I could think about was like all these X-Men toys I had, and I was just like, and I was literally playing the X-Men original series today, the game.
Of course you were. To get ready.
To get ready, I was watching everything X-Men. I was
So hype about it.
This movie does not disappoint. There are stuff I missed. There's stuff that like if you don't know Blade, like you missed a lot of Blade jokes.
Okay.
Fun fact: I never saw Elektra.
Okay. Why? Because it was a female-led movie?
Oh no, because she gets resurrected by and has a demon inside of her.
Is it an actual demon or a presumed
in the Marvel
demon?
universe? It's like an entity that takes over you, so it's like different.
So
but
it's a presumed demon.
In my world, like in the Christian universe, that was a big no-no. So we weren't
For
allowed
listeners
to
at
watch.
home, this is where I am rolling my eyes very hard.
I need to watch Elektra now.
Yeah. Because Jennifer Garner
was in it. She was it was a who's who in this movie, and I'm just thinking back at like what my favorite part was, and the movie is a lot of little mini parts. Like it gave you everything you want. You want to see Wolverine and Deadpool fight it out? You got that.
Oh, you got plenty of that.
You want funny breaking the wall dialogue? You got that. You want a comedy? You got that. You want an action movie? I got that. You want a buddy comedy? You got like they hit every single nail on the head.
They had a lot of genres there.
It was the only thing I think it was missing was horror.
Well,
that Cassandra Nova, what she was doing to people, like.
Oh yeah, just her ability to literally get in your head. Because she can do that, and one of the guys she just like dragged away, like claw through the eye sockets, pulling up through his brain, and was dragging him that way. And I mean, I that's terrifying. Just seeing fingers poke through eye sockets like that, I was like, ugh. But it was really it unsettled me. That it did do that. So good job, guys.
What was your favorite part of the movie, or maybe parts?
I think the whole fact that they brought back Laura X-23 tied it back in, because she was really the anchor point. She was really the anchor point to the Void and those that were in the Void, and was kind of like getting the band together to make the escape. We need to do something. Or at least stick together and, figure it out from here, be a team.
Yeah.
But either way, we got to do something. So seeing her come back all these years later, just A, seeing her grown up. And then B, seeing her as like a further developed character.
Yeah, she was leading a team.
Yeah, she wasn't just, this kind of child that nobody really knew what was going on. She was like self-assured. She knew what was going on. She knew what had to be done, and she really, Wolverine's feeling sad. He's sad. He's a sad boy. I did bad things. And she's like, well, You weren't really great in my timeline either, so you were never the hero that we needed until you were. And
I
that
think that
that really resonated with me.
me too, because I think of every single Wolverine movie. He's always like, "I'm gonna leave. You guys don't need me. Why am I here?"
Yeah, I know.
And then he's like, I'll help out. I guess I'm here to help. I'll help you guys this one time." Like he's always there when you need him.
He's like Slim Shady,
I I
always
I,
back.
I feel
Back
like my
again.
favorite part, thinking of the whole entire movie, was that opening sequence with him fighting with the Wolverine claws. Like that
Oh
was
my
a
god.
childhood moment. Like
That
I've always wanted to do that, and given the chance, I would do that.
yes. I also that opening sequence, the opening credit sequence, mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful. I just need them to release the unedited version of Ryan Reynolds dancing to Bye 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 by NSYNC and doing the full ass dance while dressed as Deadpool because that was amazing. I want to watch that every day until I die. Just in case you're wondering what I've been thinking about.
Like this is a popcorn film. Like I just want to go
It
and
was
just watch it again for fun.
oh yeah, this was a fun romp. This is what, like it was just a fun movie. And I feel like we're not really getting that all the time anymore.
No, it always has to be serious. Like Ant Man never really went. Like I think that's my problem with Ant Man. It was funny, but not funny enough. Like it was always we have to bring it back to fun.
The Marvel universe, it has to
like
be
every like we didn't even talk about every single funny joke in the movie. Like there's a part where his suit gets ripped off.
oh
And
yeah.
you see his app. Like there's so many like funny things. Like this is a movie. Like this is the stand up of movies. It's one long stand up joke of Ron Reynolds being
It kind of
Deadpool.
is. It is. I mean, the action sequences are beautiful. Very well choreographed, as I feel. Just I feel like they really brought their A game
So
with the
I
fighting
did buy the
choreography.
bucket from AMC for Wolverine.
Yeah.
You guys will see it on the show. They have another one of Headpool, and I kind of want it, but it was $10 more.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to spend $100 on popcorn buckets.
No, because that sounds insane.
So
$40 for popcorn buckets.
It sounds insane.
Sign us up, apparently.
Apparently, you are now inside the microphone. You're inside. I put you on it. This is what you sound like when you're inside a Wolverine. Wolverine is fucking you right now. Oh yeah, give me that. Any last thoughts?
A couple just short little ones. I did like that we saw Lady Deadpool
I wish
and a
your mask
bunch
came
of
off.
others.
I wish we could have seen
Same
that.
here. It was great seeing all the army of Deadpools, basically, including Lady Deadpool, Headpool, Kidpool, Dogpool.
Samurai Pool. It was so many, and so Tommy has his whole collection of Deadpool books, and he's got all of them. So that's how I found out. Like Tommy used to get the Deadpool books, and because Tommy had him in the house, I was like, oh, I'll just read Tommy's books. So I was reading Tommy's Deadpools, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to watch it on the screen versus, you know,
Just read it,
watching
yes.
what I read on the comics happen on the screen was really cool.
Yeah, totally agreed. And then to have Deadpool fighting himself with Wolverine, all the versions, I really loved that because that was just a beautiful. There was just some really long shots with the bus that were really great. I loved that sequence. I thought that was great.
I think Nice Pool was.
Oh God, Nice Pool and Mary Poppins.
I don't know if I know Deadpool's history. I don't think there is a Nice Pool. I think it's been created for this.
Oh yeah,
I can see this happening in the comics. Like they're gonna make Nice Pool.
we're gonna see Nice Pool at Terrificon next month. I guarantee you.
Oh yes, that is gonna be the costume because you don't have to wear like it's all the pretty guys get to dress up now.
And carry around an ugly stuffed dog. Although Mary Poppins did steal the show, I thought. Apparently, we were not ready for it because there was a lot of speculation going into this A lot of people thought that there was going to be an appearance
Yep.
of.
We said it.
We said it, and you know what? Sometimes we're wrong, and that's okay
This
because
is why I
nobody
don't
knows.
gamble.
Exactly.
I would have put money on my Taylor Swift prediction.
Yes. I would have thought also. However, I also realize that that doesn't mean that down the line or even like right now that this isn't something that they're still working on.
Like, there can be another Deadpool movie where they do Dazzler. Or
Easily. X like
you
bring her
want
into
you want
X-Men.
bring in the X-Men. She's part of the Phoenix. If you wanted to redo the Phoenix story, because
Yes.
I'd love to do that one. Perfect time to
Phoenix.
introduce Dazzler.
Yep.
Really, is our prediction wrong, or are we just
Or is
did
it just not yet? Are we
just
too
early?
Yeah, I think we're just too early, which is fine. I know there's been a lot of comics with Dazzler been going up and up and up. Um, we'll see that come down, obviously, but for now, it'll come down. That's the thing. We don't know until it comes out, and then it comes out, and then we find out, and
Because
sometimes it's a
Dazzler
bust or
is not been entered into the Marvel universe, so we still need a Dazzler.
correct. And
The fact that she's been talking
And
with,
now that Blake Lively, who is credited as being Lady Deadpool, and they also make the joke about how there is a Lady Deadpool and that she just had a baby a couple weeks ago and she snapped right back. It was also just announced what Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's child was named this week also.
oh, so that baby joke was real?
So that baby joke was real.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know I missed them. There's
Oh yeah, no,
there's
the
gonna be
dialogue is.
videos of YouTube being like the 100 Easter eggs you missed.
Oh, absolutely, and that was actually what I wanted to ask you was what was your favorite little Easter egg?
My favorites.
It can be verbal or nonverbal.
It was nonverbal.
Okay, what was it?
So when they're gonna fight the Deadpool Corps,
Mm-hmm.
in the background was Liefeld. It was after Rob Liefeld who created Deadpool, but it was his shop that was funny, his little feet. Because Rob Liefeld cannot draw feet. And it's just been this artist criticisms of Liefeld, like, yeah, Liefeld's great, just don't ask him to draw feet, because he can't draw feet. And so the fact that Liefeld's little feet, it just really cracked me. It was
same here. Every time I saw it, I was like, I can't take this seriously right now. But like, that's kind of the point of the Deadpool movies is not to take it too seriously. Like, just every time I saw it, it cracked me up. I loved all of the Easter eggs, the throwaway. I guess now I need to watch Mad Max.
Yeah, a lot of
'Cause
Mad Max
there's
references.
a lot of Mad Max
and I
references
don't know
that
Mad
went
Max
over.
that well.
Yeah, I mean, he flat out referenced Furiosa
Yeah, and I was like, oh gosh,
I guess-
saw that movie once.
and noises.
So, there's a lot to unpack with this
There's
movie.
so much to
but We just
unpack.
wanted just to do a quick talk and be
And
like, what did we watch?
Initial thoughts.
So rating wise, what would you do?
Are we doing letter or number?
Yeah, let's do numbers.
Let's do numbers. What's your rating? Numbers.
Numbers.
We're doing old school letter grades.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna give it a solid B. It was just missing some. I can't tell you what it was. It was missing something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a solid B. It's a good movie.
Was that something Taylor Swift? Or was it the rest of Fantastic Four?
Maybe, but I know it's hard to get them. It was just something was missing. Colossus wasn't there, and he was
That's
really
true.
important in the movies.
Yeah, like Negasonic Teenage Warhead was like barely in it.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see the family.
Yeah. And that was what the whole movie was about, was his family, and this was what his life is saving this timeline. That is his whole world, is the 9 people in that picture.
The way they wrap everything up is real, what? Okay, because you said so, it's in the script. So that's where it falls. Plot-wise, that's where it falls. And that's why it's not an A for me. but it's funny. It makes me laugh, and I had fun. And what else can you want from a movie?
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It's just it's not perfect. You gotta save those A's for those perfect movies.
Yeah, I was gonna give it an A-, actually.
I was almost there, and I didn't. I couldn't. Justify the A.
Justify.
Yeah,
I
because I
think
couldn't. I couldn't give it an A.
give it an A. You just won't. I think, yeah, visually it was really great. Great, fantastic action sequences. Just that whole stunt of Deadpool and Wolverine fighting and just beating the shit out of this Honda Odyssey.
Oh my god! And it's still it still ran.
It still ran somehow. Who the fuck knows? I guess maybe we need to get a Honda Odyssey next. I don't know.
You know what's funny is Trump would believe that we listened to that whole entire audio of it instead of us just clipping it together.
I know
I don't even remember it. I'm just gonna play.
Well, you know why? Because that was pre-concussion.
I know. I'm just thinking it's funny. Like Trump thinks that we're listening to this on the podcast. Sorry, I saw that. I saw that in the news that Trump is attacking Anderson Cooper about his report with Eugene Carroll.
Yep.
And his whole thing is that he is upset because it sounded Eugene Carroll was pro, like, nothing happened to her.
Yeah.
Which is not the case. Like, if you're listening to her,
Yeah.
her story is talking about the fantasy.
Correct.
And that's what she's
rape
talking about.
in our culture.
Yeah. And then she takes a commercial break and comes back and he's like, here's the real truth. Tell us this. And she's like, hits you with the hard questions. But he thinks during that commercial break, that's when he told her, like, hey, listen, I need you to tell us how terrible Trump is. You know, let's work up that angle. Can you do that with us when we get back from the break? Instead of, like, I'm literally going to insert that. I mean, I'm going to edit that part, of course, which might be done. I don't know. I have a concussion. So that's the name of the episode. I have a concussion.
I don't know. I have a concussion.
He thinks, like, during that time, the commercial break, they took place instead of just editing it and popping it in, and it just makes me hilarious because that's all we're gonna do.
I know.
And I think it's hilarious.
But, like, that's the thing. You and I have this traditional television background, but, like, there's a big divide, if you think about it, between what the kids these days know and what, like, your parents know.
But I feel like our kids these days aren't that smart.
Yeah.
They know when there's an integrated commercial, like if we were sponsored by, like, HelloFresh or something, and then if it cut to us with music, the kids would understand, oh, they probably did some edits. And
Yeah.
that was done earlier.
Yeah.
Why my mom, like, I love certain family members who have commented on the show and like, oh, you guys are great, the way you talk back and forth with each other. And I'm like, we edit that. It's all written.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, there hasn't been a rundown a little bit. We went to Terrificon. I was hoping to get an episode, but just existing was kind of hard. Like, I've went to Terrificon and I forgot my comics. I have been spending the last
Days.
months
Yeah.
have been looking for what books I should bring because most of them are like one free book and then you pay for it. So I'm like, all right, if I what book is the ultimate book I want signed? So I've been debating this. And then there's those last second ads, like all of a sudden Keanu Reeves is supposed to be
Yeah.
there. And it's a mad dash of like, oh my goodness, where's my berserkers? Like, I got to figure out things.
Yeah, which, well,
So, so I was hoping to have all that done, but we didn't. We had a different kind of Terrificon this year.
yeah, I'll say. Guys, I don't know how to break this to you, but we've been dating.
No one's going to think this is funny. They all know.
I know. So,
Stupid. No.
oh, leave this
Fucking-
part in too.
fucking hate. This whole like, hey guys, in case you didn't know, we've been dating. We talk about going to each other's families. We talk about like how I sleep. Like, motherfucker, like if you don't know we've been dating this long, like unless this is your first
Okay.
time joining us, which welcome, and I'm sorry you've been brought
Didn't
into
you
this.
do the same thing with Hans, though?
What do you mean?
Didn't you go and see his family?
Yeah,
Didn't you hang out with him in excessive amounts?
I hanging him out in the normal amounts that people hang out.
Did you also share deep, dark feelings?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, we got. I told him I was sad. That was like the most. I was like, I feel sad. Like not even depressed. Like I've never been like I'm depressed, guys. No, guys don't do that. We're very like I'm sad, and you don't shed a tear, and you're just like, sucks.
Yeah, this was a very different kind of Terrificon, mostly because I was in an engagement haze the entire time because you bamboozled me and proposed to me at the inn that inspired Gilmore Girls since we were in Connecticut. You told me that you were taking me to a secondhand comic shop in Connecticut called the Spaghetti Warehouse. And I believed you, which I think is really the biggest, like, not keeping the proposal a secret. The fact that you tricked me and I went along with the fact that the Spaghetti Warehouse
Well, I was trying to be
sham.
as outrageous as possible because I thought you knew where the inn was, and I thought you would know the
Nope.
name of the inn.
No.
And so
Which I was like, why did I never look that up?
So I thought when you would see the Mayflower Inn and Spa that you were going to be like, oh my goodness, he's taking me to the Gilmore Girl house.
Nope.
Like if you took me to the space what are those called when you go look at the stars, astronomy.
Oh, the observatories.
Yeah, if you take me to an observatory in California, it's most likely going to be the Power Rangers one, and I think there's going to be something up. Like, that's the way my brain would work. So I was trying to be kind of like focused on me and not what the map says, because the map just was like, the Mayflower Inn and Spa. Ouch.
You okay?
So I was so worried that you were going to see it. So I was just trying to like avert your gaze of like, don't look at it. So I was just like, Spaghetti Warehouse. Because.
And I just shook my head and said, okay.
And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, what they do not say in Google, there is nothing in this town. Like, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell phone service.
Yeah. We were driving up a county route for like 20 minutes. I was like, what? Where the fuck is this place? And am I going to die now? Is this the year you can murder me?
And all I could think of is like our first date. I took you up to the mountain that night.
That's how our relationship started. Might as well be how it ended.
And all I could think of, I was like, man, you didn't like it the first time I did that. I didn't really mean for this to be a thing.
Yeah, I love that keeps being a theme throughout our relationship. So, like, I don't even know what the fuck is next.
Well, I called them because I went to go see how much a room was. And because I was thinking about maybe doing it that Wednesday night, and they said it was $1,000 a room.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, no, I am not going to do that. So I called them and I was like, hi, I would like to do the proposal. And they're like, we don't understand. And they just ignored me. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst they're going to say? Leave? And I'm like, okay. Like,
They
so
chase
I took
us off
this
the property.
chance. But I knew there was going to be like these huge signs that said spa. So I made sure you said Getty. So spaghetti warehouses, you'd know where they were. So literally you saw the road and it says spa. And I was like, Getty Restaurant. It's right there.
And I went, why the fuck are we, like, trespassing?
And then I took you up. And I told you all the reasons that I loved you.
Do you want to recap that?
Not this time. But maybe in the future for you.
Okay. Because I'll tell you guys, I was really fucking oblivious to what was happening. So he was like, hey, it's up there. And in retrospect, I really should have thought, wow, that's really cruel to make nerds carry short boxes of comics down this two flight of stone stairs. So maybe I should have realized something was up when you said, "Oh yeah, the building is up there."
And there's this little garden, so I wanted to make sure we're in the garden because there was this nice bench. Because I thought you were gonna say no, and like we need to talk, but you were very emotional, and we had a very special moment, and I thought this was great. You know, everything's working great, and then I get to the Airbnb and realize I forgot the comics.
Yep.
So we made it like an engagement photo shoot, if you
Yeah,
will.
basically.
Like because I wanted you to meet the people that I've
Met.
met, like Aaron Cooter and
Mhm.
VK and Jason Aaron, who is like even nicer when I met him the first time.
Yeah. He
Like,
was so nice.
and then Stephanie Phillips. I know you were like she was there a couple of years ago.
She was there our first year that we went to Terrificon.
And at that time, you weren't really reading comics. You were just like dipping your toes in. So you were like, I can't talk to her. I can't. And so this time, I was like, we got to. So we were just like, let's tell their engagement story,
Yeah.
and she loved it.
She was
And
amazing.
I did not know that she was with Brian Azzarello.
Yeah,
I
they're married IRL.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Completely, like, it makes sense now, and I'm like, oh, but like I don't know why, and maybe it's because I have a concussion, but it was just like I didn't even realize it.
Yeah. Well, and Stephanie Phillips was so cool. She spent a good amount of time with us too. Like we showed her the video of our very first Star Wars Day video with the lightsaber and eventually Robin. She loved it.
I wanted it to be a really special weekend because Terrificon is kind of a magical place. It's a
Yeah.
place like me and my brother first went. I forget how long ago it was, but I feel like it's almost 10 years, or it's real close to that. Um, but since he moved to Connecticut, I went and started hanging out with him.
Hmm.
So I'd go on the weekends, see him, and we'd go to Terrificon and meet like these A-list artists that you could actually talk to and not just like stand in a line forever.
Right.
And it was in a small little it was just like in the foyer area. Like it wasn't in a huge area, and it was just like this really special small con, and now every year it keeps on getting bigger and bigger, and
Hmm.
their guests are getting bigger and bigger. Um, and I love Terrificon.
Hmm.
And so I wanted to share that moment with you because I don't know if we're going to be able to go next year.
Yeah.
Um, Tommy and Rocky are pregnant, so there's a whole baby situation. I don't
Well,
know.
I wouldn't say a situation. There's a new addition to their lives
That's
and our lives.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, what age can the baby go to to a Comic Con? Like, there's a lot of diseases and
Yeah.
like I don't want to suppose so I don't know. And now there's talks of him moving. So who even knows at this point?
Who
So
knows?
this might
Plus, we have a car to buy, and oh yeah, eventually a wedding.
So, needless to say, like, I don't know if this is going to be our last Terrificon. I hope it's not. But if it is, I wanted to make sure it was going to go off with a bang. And that's why, even though I got into a car accident and things are kind of crazy, I was like, this was something that's been planned. Like, I talked to your mom months ago about it and how I was going to do it. And,
Hmm.
like, got her blessing. And, like, I taught, like, I checked off everything. It was just, like, at the finish line
Yeah.
where it's just like, if I don't do it now, when do I do it? When do I make it special? And taking you to the Gilmore Girls house seemed like, because Gilmore Girls is really special to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of my comfort shows. I always go back to it, and now I'm really itching to go back to watching Gilmore Girls because of this whole proposal. And it's starting to cool down a little bit, and it's fall. It's getting there, and it's Gilmore Girls time. That's all.
So exactly. So I know it's special to you. So I wanted it to be special, and who knows what the future holds.
Yeah.
I mean, at this rate, every time we talk, it keeps on getting worse. So I'm almost afraid to post our next video because Russia's gonna decide that it doesn't like. They saw Kong Skull Island and didn't like it, and saw the shirt the guy was wearing, the main unwell, and was like, "I don't like that place. We're going to bomb that place," and then we're dead.
What a time for us.
That's all I think about. Like
I mean, if we die because of King Kong, I'm fine with this.
King Kong, the Russians.
Well, it was inspired by.
Oh, I gotcha. Because King Kong was.
Yeah.
We live in such a weird period of
We
time.
live in the weirdest timeline.
Like our age group has seen some like like my mom was just a baby when JFK was killed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more like my older uncles who are just kids kind of were like, "Oh, that happened." But like our grandparents really like they saw JFK, they saw
Mm-hmm.
the wall. And our generation, we saw the towers, we have COVID, we've got wars,
Yep.
the whole what's the conflicts in Iraq and in Iran.
Yeah.
Like it's
And now the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, part 1,000,000.
it's just a weird time. Like you never know what's gonna happen. So I figured I have to ask you, or I'm gonna die. No. So no, I figured like I don't want to wait till next year because everyone's been waiting. Like everyone has been waiting with bated breath to be like, did you tell Amy? Did you tell her? Like my brother was texting me that morning, like, hey, when was it you're going to propose again? And it popped up message from Tommy on the car, and I was like, oh, please don't read it out loud. And you're like, go ahead, press OK. I'll read out loud. And I was like, please, God, no.
Like I said, I was really oblivious to what was happening. I was just so focused on getting us to the Airbnb.
We got there, and Terrificon is absolutely bananas.
Yeah. Well, our Terrificon experience started super early Friday morning.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, the night before, Keanu Reeves is going to be there to sign autographs for the first 100 people.
Yep.
And they had all these rules. You can't arrive before a certain time, and you're going to be escorted to a room, and you can't leave this room, or else you forfeit your tickets.
Yep.
Turns out the whole thing was a lie.
Yep.
People were lining up
The night before. They said they couldn't start lining up before 8 a.m.
They had to stand out in the lobby area the whole entire time. So you had kids who were like, literally couldn't stand anymore because they're kids.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't stand. I fell.
Yeah.
So, because, turns out I have vertigo
And a concussion.
So world's real spinny.
Yeah.
So, it was like I'm more upset with the staff, and especially when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna fall. You're okay with this? And he goes, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you this is what you want.
Yeah.
So that was that was the worst part of it.
Yeah.
But meeting Keanu Reeves, going through that to meet Keanu Reeves, I mean, it's kind of worth it. Like, you have to be stuck in the Matrix sucks.
Yeah.
Like, he had to run around from the agents and hop into the real world.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to do shitty stuff to get good stuff. So we made it. We saw our friend Jeremiah.
And his wife, Maria.
So
and they were the first people that we told about our engagement.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool.
And you know who the third and fourth were? Keanu Reeves and Ron Garney.
which is super super cool. Like that was not the plan, and like as things are happening, I'm like, oh my goodness, like you're gonna have because I was on my way to get the ring resized the day of the accident. I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
meet your mom, and so I went. And so I was like, man, this would be awesome because it's kind of you're in like, oh, how you guys doing? We just got engaged. Oh, look at the ring.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I wasn't able to resize it, so it was a little small in your hand.
Oh yeah. It
I,
was throbbing.
there's a couple of pictures where it's purple.
It's not purple,
Oh,
but
it's
if you
purple.
look at it, it's like red.
It's purple in one of the photos. I forget whose photo it is. I was zooming in when I was doing my collage, and I was like,
Let's put that one in
oh,
black and
dang.
white.
Yeah, and there's one with Tom Welling where I think you couldn't put it on anymore, and it was on your pinky.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you're kind of like a Muppet. You only have your little tiny fingers, so I guess it's the same.
No, I have big sausage fingers. That's really what it is.
So starting out Friday that way was awesome, and then
We went home and took a nap and crashed, and that felt great after standing for like 6 hours. That was a time.
But so overall, so the first day, yeah, we kind of crashed. We saw a couple of the people we met. We saw VK again.
Yes,
and I
we
had
met
you
up
meet
with
Aaron
VK.
Cooter.
Aaron Cooter's such a nice guy,
Isn't
and I
he?
love our selfie with him too. He looks super psyched for us, and I love it.
With a concussion, because I have a concussion. I totally forgot that of your connections, because he worked in Ithaca and lived in Ithaca,
Oh.
and he actually worked at that restaurant, that fancy restaurant.
Oh, Simeon's.
Yeah,
That
Simeon's.
if you guys don't know, in Ithaca a couple years ago, an 18-wheeler crashed through the restaurant of Simeon's, actually killed one of the chefs there, or one of the waitresses there. But they've completely rebuilt it. We've been there since then. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I guess that was where his area was of working, and if he was still like if he didn't do comics, that's probably where he was gonna stay. I guess.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of surreal of like this is my workplace, and that was where I was.
Yeah, like that
So-
could have been you.
Like you don't think of that because like now, ever since I've gone and eaten there, and now I think about it constantly. Like, what if those cars don't stop?
Yeah, because
Like,
it's,
it's
a
kind of a
straight.
different-
Yeah,
It's kind of different now eating there.
yeah.
It wasn't. It's just. I don't know. It's kind of freaky in a way.
It is.
So I forgot I got your guys' connection there because that would have been fun to talk about. But yeah, we crashed after that, and like I saw those lightsaber dudes.
Yes, the lightsaber dudes.
They're called Hooked on Sabers.
Yes.
That's
Great name.
that's what we've been using for our lightsaber videos for the ever since how do I want to word this? Ever since the last Terrificon, the new lightsabers we use, the glow up, have been the Hooked on Sabers.
Yes.
Because the first year I got the Hooked on Sabers, it broke.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of upset. I brought it to him because I don't know where they're from, and he was like, "You could have just emailed us. We would have sent you whatever, blah blah blah." Because he was like, "These actually broke on us. We had to order a whole new shipment." Exchanged it. I didn't have to pull out my receipt. He just took the lightsaber from me and was like, "Thank you so much." And we ended up buying one from him. And so I decided this year I'm going to buy another one from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted it to be a special one.
Yes.
So I got Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
The green one with the fun little hilt.
Yes.
It's my favorite lightsaber. I've always wanted it. Like, I've got the plastic toy version of it. I've got action figures. It's my favorite lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, hands down, that's my favorite. And I was like, I need to get this.
Yeah.
And he was so nice. So now I have another lightsaber. So I'm going to be using that a lot in the show. Amy, how did Friday go for you? Like, how was your experience? What did you enjoy?
I mean, you can't top meeting Keanu Reeves. Like, as a day goes, it started out amazing. Because I finally was able to tell him I love Point Break And if you've seen Point Break, you might find this amusing. But he started just going like gargling behind me while we're getting our photo taken. So if I'm a little extra like smiley, that's why, because Keanu Reeves was a
Doing a bit.
doing a bit with us, being a gentleman, being a great sport. Also, we forgot to mention this whole signing and this whole experience was free.
No, it wasn't
Well,
free. They worked it out that somebody paid. I don't know if Terrificon flipped the bill, but it's a donation program that it was like it goes to like a blood drive. So that's what this
yeah,
whole event was for. And I wish we really maybe could have had some merch or something for
yeah.
this company that like if it was a blood thing like to support them that
Yeah,
they
I
did
can't even tell
this.
you what charity it was.
Yeah,
I just know that
I
it was
wish
a
I knew.
charity.
I wish I knew because
Yeah.
the fact that they were able to put this on to do a charity event, because like that's so awesome. Because we
Yeah.
ended up talking to Ron Garney, I think Sunday, because I
Sunday.
wanted to thank him so much for putting it together. Because like, let's be honest, like if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Like it's his connections,
Literally.
his like. I love Ron Garney. Like I don't know if I've discussed how much I've loved Ron Garney, but it started like with Spider-Man, and when he like that was my first time. His Spider-Man Back in Black.
Mhm.
It was after Aunt May is shot,
Mhm.
and he just goes crazy and is like on the hunt and murderous kind of thing. Like he's just like no more quips, no more jokes. He's going and it's so dark. And Ron Garney, the way he draws it, you feel the darkness. You feel the anger in every panel. Like it's not just she's dead. It's dead because of me and everything I've done. Why did I even do? Why do I exist? And you get that from his art, and it's so beautiful. So I don't know. So I have a little special place in my heart for Ron Garney. Uh,
Justifiably so.
so and he was just talking about like how he was just like yeah his band was in town and I suggested it and he was just like yeah well I could do that
Yeah.
and he was so nice
It was just so nice.
like it's weird to meet like famous people and you expect them to just be a jerk like Scotty Young. Sorry, he's so mean. But meeting the nice guys who are actually nice is
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
So Saturday, I don't even know where to begin with Terrificon on Saturday because it was wild.
Mhm.
I there's a point of there's a point in my head where I'm like maybe this is too much. Maybe there's too many people in here. But like, how do you cap it?
Yeah.
Because Saturday was just full like wall to wall people. You
Yep.
couldn't talk like we didn't get pictures with like that's when we met Tom Welling
Correct.
and we decided to wait in line for some of the bigger people.
Yeah.
Because Rocky, she's pregnant. She can't be waiting
Yeah.
around in line for a couple hours.
No. 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 No.
So we were like, let's,
Well, and you with a concussion, yeah.
yeah. So we were like, let's just take it nice and easy. So like Saturday, that was crazy. So many people.
So many people, but yes, we were able to meet Tom Welling. He was such a nice guy.
Wasn't he nice?
He was so nice, and he was like, "Oh, congrats, you guys." We told him that we had just gotten to the point where, like, in Smallville, where Clark had the ring, he was going to propose to Lois, and again, another clue, which I should have thought about.
I know because I had it timed up perfectly of like the day that I was going to propose that night we'd watch that episode and it was just going to be real nice but I was in a car accident and I have a concussion.
This is a brand new drinking game. Whenever we say concussion, take a drink.
So yeah, so second day it was great. So seeing Rocky, seeing His friends, I forgot their names,
Oh,
but they were so
they were
great.
so sweet. Yes, and their one friend. Oh my gosh, their brother and sister.
Yeah, them. That's who I'm thinking of. I
Yep.
can't remember his name.
I'm so sorry, guy, buddy. You were so cool. Friend us on Facebook.
He was
You,
dressed.
yes, he was dressed. He cosplayed as freaking Tom Nook from Animal Crossing with the bells and the shirt. He did it perfectly.
The only thing he was missing was like some kind of deed of like, here's your due. You owe me money.
You owe me 1 billion bells. And
That
then his sister was cosplayed as Dorothy, and she ran into another cosplay Dorothy, and they took a picture, which was just like one of my favorite moments too, because I love it when like, you're not competing, you're just like, hey, just
I like to imagine it's
mutual.
like that you meet the multiverse version of you.
Yeah,
Because nobody looks the same.
correct.
So everybody's dress is going to be a little bit different. Their
Mm-hmm.
dog's going to be different. Their basket. Like, what makes them unique? But she had on her eyelashes, they were butterflies.
Yes.
So
She-
every time she blinked, it looked like there was butterflies like floating around her.
I know, it was amazing.
And it was really freaking me out because I was a little high, and all I could think about was like, watch your eyes, because like I think that's why she mentioned it, because I was like swatting at her eyes like to protect her.
I turn around, you're just like,
And that's when you're like, honey, they're attached to their eyelashes. I'm like, oh, like they're on her eyes on purpose.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah.
yes.
I'm like, why?
For fun, for this reaction specifically.
Oh, it was fantastic. She like, oh, so like I just it's just the little things, and that's why I don't like people who like just. I feel like I'm the lame guy at Comic-Con. I'm the guy who just wears the nerd shirt. I just don't like dressing up. I sweat
Yeah,
so
same.
much.
Yeah, we're hot.
So I'm like,
Or
any
sweaty.
paint I get is just gonna melt.
Also, you have sensitive skin, so there's that too.
Oh yeah. And then any clothing I'm gonna have to wear is just gonna get sweat,
Oh yeah.
and then it's just gonna stink, and it just.
You don't want to be that guy at Comic-Con.
Also, I don't look like Chris Hemsworth.
Whoa,
So,
whoa. Yes, you do. Chubby Thor.
It just takes a little while, and with the car crash, it's just.
Oh,
Oh, that's another thing. Is all my information. Like